as we welcome you to the Holy War. It's Royal versus Red, one of college basketball's great rivalries. The Utes have made the short drive to beautiful Provo to take on the number 13 team of the country, the BYU Cougars. Welcome courtside Aaron Goldsmith alongside Casey Jacobson. We don't normally do these things standing up. My 6'6" partner here. Yeah. Casey, this is one of the great atmospheres, one of the great rivalries in the game.
There, and this building is one of the best in the West. I got my Cougar tail in hand, and we expect to see some offensive fireworks in this game. Both teams average over 80 a game. The difference to me is BYU sports a top 25 defense in America. The Utah Utes have struggled to keep the ball in front. So my question, Aaron, is can the Utes slow down Dybantsa and this high-powered Cougar offense?
His second Cougar tail, by the way. Well, BYU is absolutely a national title contender, and it is because, in large part, Dybantsa.
Yeah, I mean, he's 6'9" tall, 7'1" wingspan, and a 41-inch vertical, so he lacks for nothing physically, but it's even more than that. He's a really smart player. He sees things one step ahead, and, you know, averaging over 22 points a game, and he sees double teams night after night. You see the numbers on your screen. Look at the efficiency, almost 55 points a game. He's not a gunner. He's an excellent and efficient basketball player.
All right, well, if Utah wants to come to Provo and have a stunning upset, they will need a massive game from Terrence Brown, another top scorer in the nation.
Yeah, Aaron, I think Terrence Brown will have the ball in his hands more than any other player on the court, and that includes Dybantsa, and head coach Alex Jensen trusts him. He has got to be the big-time decision maker if they're going to get an upset on the road. In the last 2 years, folks, you see the numbers. He's a Fairleigh Dickinson transfer. He averaged over 20 points last year, and he's improved that this season. Not normally known as a three-point shooter, Aaron, his last 2 games, he's made 8 triples.
One of the great scorers in the country. This game will not lack for offense. BYU and Utah from Provo. Tip-off and starting lineups coming up next on Fox. The 268th meeting all-time, Utah and BYU. Moments ago, the pregame introductions at the Marriott Center. There are not many places in the country like right here and right now. A one-of-a-kind rivalry, Utah and BYU. We've talked about Terrence Brown, how much will be needed for the junior today. Dominic Henry, 9th in the conference in scoring. Meanwhile, for BYU, Casey, this starting 5 averages more points per game than any other starting lineup in the entire country. This game is chock full of guys who can put the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, check this out, folks. This is the first time I have ever seen this. Half of the top 10 leading scorers in one conference are all on the floor tonight. BYU's big 3, they've accounted for 69% of the Cougs' total offense on the season. They are so hard to slow down because you can't just key on one guy.
Brown 7th in the nation in scoring. Dybantsa 5th in the country. As is tradition in recent years, Royal versus Red, BYU and Utah. And it starts in the hands of the number 13 team of the country, winners of 12 in a row at home, averaging 90 a game in that stretch.
First touch for Dybantsa. They double-teamed him every catch in the first matchup.
Out to Saunders, deadly shooter. No, off the mark with his first try.
Yes, you're playing with fire. If you're going to double-team off of the strong side, meaning the defender closest to the basketball, you're going to give up that quick shot that's normally in Richie Saunders' wheelhouse.
McHenry averaging 18 a game after the shot fake. Out of the corner to Seydou Traore out of the Bronx. Loose ball. And a foul. It was recovered by BYU and Kennard Davis Jr. Alex Jensen in his first year at the helm of the Utes. Utah basketball legend. Final 4 team under Rick Majerus. Conference Player of the Year. 10-2 in his playing career against BYU.
And 3-1 here at the Marriott Center as well. Make sure to let us know that. Not too many guys can say they had a winning record there.
He knows his rivalry well as anybody. Dybantsa between the legs, a little spin spikle and pivot.
So he's got the ball on a string. He's that tall, yet if you allow him to be isolated in the middle of the floor. It's really hard to double team, Aaron. That's the adjustment I think that Kevin Young has made this past week. More touches for Dybantsa in the middle of the floor.
Dybantsa's coming off a season low 13 points.
2-3 zone defensively for BYU, which makes sense. Utah's not a good three-point shooting team.
Dump off pass Okonkwo with 4 on the shot clock. Corner 3 just grazes the iron off Traore. The layup, no good. Tap back also misses. And pulled down by Keanu Dawes. Dawes, who was shut out against K-State, no points.
It's hard to believe, Aaron. Dawes is really talented. Here he is with the ball. 0 points in 31 minutes of play. It's not like he got in foul trouble or anything.
Okonkwo with an offensive rebound and is fouled. That's on Kennard Davis Jr. Kevin Young, year number 2, born in Salt Lake City, a Sweet 16 appearance last year in his first season, just the 3rd Sweet 16 in program history.
I asked him how he spent the last week with no games. So BYU hasn't played a game in 7 days, and he said that we treated it like the NBA teams would treat an all-star break. A couple days off to get healthy, but then a little tinker with the offense here and there for their playoff push or their push to March Madness.
5 of the shot clock now under that. Traore heaves a 3 off the back iron. Well, BYU has been to more NCAA tournaments without making the Final Four of any team in the country. And they are thinking that this is the year that all changes.
I think this is the most talented BYU team in their school history. Of course, Jimmer Fredette, 2011, they were good. Danny Ainge, back in 81, they were good too.
Okonkwo, another offensive rebound. Brown able to get it over the defense, but can't put it in. And a tumble down there with Okonkwo.
Nice pass.
The kick out. Too strong. And it's kept alive. Dybantsa driving and swatted, but a foul.
Seen a very aggressive AJ here in the start. Still trying to get better as a three-point shooter, just 30% on the season. He only takes 3 a game, so he's judicious there when teams back off of him. There aren't very many weaknesses in this young man's game. He does turn the ball over a little bit more maybe than Kevin Young would want. But look, man, if a guy's going to average over 22 points a game, Aaron, you're going to allow him to spill a little paint sometimes.
Number 1 recruit in the nation. 5th in the country, averaging just about 23 points a game.
Right, the expectations were so high coming in. To me, it was almost impossible that he would live up to them, but he's done just that.
This is the 2nd. He's got all 3 points so far today.
Again, BYU back into that 2-3. And a brutal start offensively for Utah. However, they're only down 3-zip. It could be a lot worse.
Utes have missed their first 5 shots. Brown steps through, and it's blocked by Dybantsa. The outlet. Davis with the kick out to right for 3.
If you turn the basketball over and allow this BYU team to utilize the full 94 feet, just say goodnight. I mean, they have 4 guys on the floor. Everybody except for Keba Keita can rip a rebound or get a steal and push their own break.
That's right, 17th straight game with a made 3. Traore straightaway triple. And the Utes ice cold to begin this one today. Davis a long 3.
Not a good shot there.
2-on-1. And deflected foul. Kennard Davis picks up his 2nd.
Well, I told you about this top 25 ranked defense for BYU. How about the block from A.J. Dybantsa with the left hand, and that leads to breaks, get 2 feet in the lane, spray it out to Rob Wright, one of the best shooters in the conference.
Fox College Hoops is sponsored by Progressive. Progressive Insurance offers 24/7 protection when you bundle home, auto, and motorcycle. Some images through the years of this great rivalry, Utah and BYU. It's been close all time, 136 to 131. BYU with a narrow margin. First meeting dating all the way back to 1909. Utah looking Looking to win their first game here in Provo since 2014. Rick Majerus recruited you hard out of high school.
Oh, yeah, he really did. I went to high school in Glendora in Los Angeles, and Rick Majerus was larger than life back then. Yeah, I was watching Alex Jensen and Keith Van Horn back in the day, Michael Doliak, who's sitting about 10 seats to our left. I just remember Rick Majerus coming to my high school, sitting down in my coach's office, and he was the only coach in America, Aaron, that said, if you come to Utah, I guarantee you will be an NBA player. Like, coaches don't say that, right? Because it's very risky. But Rick was like, he was bold and daring, and I loved him for it. But wow. I ultimately went to Stanford instead, but I'll never forget those conversations with Rick.
That turned out to work out okay for you, but great stories. 3 off the mark. Pusic just checked in.
Well, just really important that Utah got some points on the board that previous possession and see what they can do here. Last game, the first matchup in Salt Lake, the Utes got off to a 7-0 start. It's important for them as the underdog to send a message that they're not going to get bullied.
7 on the shot clock now for Utah. Loose down by the block, and it's BYU ball.
It was great hustle by Sanders, but his foot was on the line. He tried to throw it off Keita's leg. Yeah, Keita is just built like a house, man. Every time he walks by us, and I'm like, goodness gracious. He's so much fun, too. Talking about Keita, I asked Kevin Young, the head coach of BYU, hey, I think that Keita is a barometer for you guys, meaning when he's involved offensively, you guys go from good to almost unbeatable. He agrees. In their only 2 losses, Keita has not been involved.
Dybantsa steps through and finishes. Keita's got about a 30-inch waist and about a 48 sport coat, I would say.
he is built different, as the kids say. And so is AJ. That drive was just another example.
Dybantsa, the freshman from Finland, on the floor now for Utah. Ball in his hands, but entry pass to Dawes. Dawes kind of tucks it and bullies his way to the rim, picks up the foul.
Again, Dybantsa in the middle of the floor, folks. Why is that important? It is almost impossible to double team any player in the middle of the floor because you have so many options. You can go throw to the left or the right, or you can split it. And I think it's really the adjustment that Kevin Young made is important. I remember the first couple of possessions in the first matchup, Dybantsa would get it on one of the wings, and it was an immediate double team. And we haven't seen him catch the ball on the wing yet one time.
Dawes gets them both. All 4 points have come from the stripe from Utah. They begin the game 0 for 7 from the floor. Wright, 23.6 assists 2 weeks ago against Utah. And a foul committed by the Utes.
Yeah, Robert Wright III is on a heater, too. 22 points, you mentioned in that one game. How about in the last 5 games? All in Big 12 conference play, Robert Wright has upped his level of play and shooting. He statistically is the best 3-point shooter that this BYU team has. They have many weapons, but Rob Wright is lethal in every way. He's probably the smallest player on the floor, too.
Got a speed bump there and a block.
Because that's one way to slow down Rob Wright. Like lay down in front of him.
Well, that looked uncomfortable. The first on Abby.
Yeah, just legs getting tangled up right there, yeah.
Unfortunately, everybody's okay.
There's so many good point guards in the Big 12. Like Rob Wright III is one of the best, but he's got a lot of company. Chris Anderson at Texas Tech being another one for sure.
Saunders pivoting to daylight, but can't put it in.
Contact on that one. No call. Well, we promised a lot of offense, Aaron. We fibbed a little bit to our audience. It's been a slog so far for both teams.
That's Saunders, his first. Well, Terrence Brown just 2 points so far. Brown 0 for 2 from the floor for Utah. He's the conference's 3rd leading scorer, top 10 in the country.
Not on the floor right now, so the man taking the ball out of bounds, Dominic Henry, number 3, also a guy that only needs to see one shot go in, and he feels like it's his night.
Approaching the 13-minute mark, he only has one shot attempt so far. Shot clock dwindling down again. Abbey lost it, stripped. Straight ahead. Saunders tucks, and he's fouled. And look at the numbers for Saunders shooting, and you might think he's just a spot-up jump shooter, but he can really drive.
Absolutely not. Yeah, he is nuanced, as I would call it. He's got many layers to his game, but absolutely a hard driver. Prefers his right hand. He can go either way, but he drives right 75% of the time. You see those numbers right there, folks. Like, I think that Richie Saunders returning for his senior year, rather than maybe transferring or moving on to the pro level, was one of the best things for Dybantsa, really. Like, to have other stars around. And look at this, folks. Like, he has progressed as a scorer every single year. Last year, he was the Big 12 most improved player. He's improved even more this season.
Averaging close to 20 a game. This is the second. Saunders had 24 and 14 boards 2 weeks ago in Salt Lake City against the Utes.
Yeah, you mentioned that 14 boards was, I feel like they were more important than the points. He got some critical offensive rebounds that really, just kept Utah at arm's length in the last 5 minutes of that game.
McHenry using a lot of shot clock in every possession, it feels like, for Utah. Corner three, and the Utes finally get their first shot to fall. Keanu Dawes.
Only his 14th three-pointer of the year. We're seeing a different Keanu Dawes early in this one. I think he had a nice pep talk from Alex Jensen.
A lot of whistles, and this time it falls. Dybantsa.
I mean, you can't stay in front of him in general, but then he's so good at playing through contact despite his young years. Only 19 years of age. He's really grown in this area probably the most. Taking that contact, finishing. He makes 6 free throws a game. He's top 20 in the country in fouls drawn. Almost 7.5 fouls drawn per 40 minutes.
Three-point play for Dybantsa.
Getting the foul line, an important part of BYU's offense. It also allows them to set up their full court pressure. They do a 1-2-2. And then they fall back into that 2-3 zone.
Dybantsa outscoring Utah by 1. Brown back in. Now you got to find a way to get him going. Corner three, McHenry, and he bags it. He's 40% from deep this year.
Defensive mistake there by Rob Wright III. You got to close out or stay home on McHenry.
That was a 2 in the corner, not a 3. Right last year, all Big 12 freshman team with Baylor. Now with BYU. Back in his hands, right. A little bunny. No good. And that was out of bounds. That was on the baseline as Kendall Sanders was trying to pick it up. BYU ball.
And there's going to be a lot of scrums underneath in the blue painted area tonight. And Aaron, to me, in a rivalry game like this, there is no such thing as little things. They're all massive, especially for the Utes. Can you manufacture extra possessions?
Saunders looking. Instead, he'll take it himself, and the tap-in is good. Vito Ahmed.
Richie Saunders wanted to throw that alley-oop to Ahmed. The defense just wouldn't commit. Saunders, uncharacteristically, not looking for his shot there.
Ahmed came into this game today with as many points as blocks on the year. Not a big offensive player.
That's what they need, though. That's why he's here. They don't need a ton of scorers. They need, when Keba Keita gets into foul trouble or to spell him, they need another rim protector.
Brown pull up 2, no. And they're using a lot of shot clock every possession, Utah.
Yes, they are. Credit BYU, whether they be in zone and man, they're not allowing any driving gaps.
Saunders driving, lost it. Utah ball. 14-9. A little closer than you might think, considering Utah's 2 of 10 so far from the floor. The Holy War, BYU and Utah from Provo. Number 13, BYU leading Utah. A.J. Dybantsa with 8 for 14 for the Cougars.
Yeah, his isolations are a huge part of this BYU Cougar offense. And look, Dawes is doing his best, but he's just a handful in there. And then how about the defense here? Blocking with the left hand is one of the areas he's most improved. But again, one-on-one this season, A.J. Dybantsa is shooting 48%, which is very high. And he looks like he kind of just glides out on the floor. He almost doesn't really look like he's running hard. Like when Richie Saunders runs, it looks like he's really putting in a ton of effort. AJ kind of just cruises down the floor. So much fun to watch. And these fans here in the Marriott Center, Aaron, they know he's a one and done, and they are trying to enjoy, relish number 3 in blue for as long as he's here in Provo.
If you're noticing, the score is different now than when we last saw you. A point was taken off the board for Utah. That corner 3 was in fact a 2, confirmed by McHenry. Again, 5 on the shot clock. Brown, a deep, deep 3, and maybe that's what he needs to get him going. His first shot made from the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. He is a bucket getter, and he's not going to be deterred. If he misses a few in a row, he's not going to stop shooting. Nice pass.
It is a nice pass with the left hand off the glass. Ahmed with 4 points early in the first half.
And so Utah right there switched the ball screen with Ahmed and Robert Wright III. That's a bad decision. They're going to slice that up all night.
Dawes put it in, almost looked like a walk. Right, a little change of speed, change of directions, and a 3. That's his second today already. Brown pulls up. And he hits.
That's his spot, Aaron, right there. The pull-up mid-range. We got a couple mid-range players. Dybantsa certainly, but Terrence Brown, he loves the pull-up twos.
Right, trying to work off the screen. Too strong, loose ball. And Traore recovers for Utah. McHenry probing, gives it up. And with 2 hands, an easy flush. James Okonkwo's first points.
Nice read there from McHenry. McHenry wants to shoot, but he's not going to force it, and that time the defense committed too.
Utah starting to see the ball go through the rim a little bit more. Okonkwo, no foul, and a breakaway runaway from McHenry, and he lays it in. Well, Utah began the game 0 for 7. They made 6 of their last 8.
That's their first bucket off of a turnover as well. This Utah defense doesn't really force a lot. I wonder if they're going to call Terrence Brown for this one.
He's the first on Brown.
Well, Utah, a brutal start, but they're starting to settle in. Don McHenry, the easy dish as Ahmed came up too high. And then if they can generate anything off of defense so that they don't have to go against this top 25 defense that the Cougars have in the half court, that's what they need.
In the bonus already, just over 9 minutes to play here in the first half. That was the first foul on Brown, who's gone to the bench. Right, an 82% free throw shooter.
All these guards are great free throw shooters, efficient scorers. Wright is above 80%. Richie Saunders, 83%. A.J. Dybantsa, 76%. Gets there 8 times a game. This is a crucial part of what they do, is get to the foul line.
And he gets them both. Wright with 8 here in the first half. Dybantsa with 8 as well. What can Utah do offensively with Terrence Brown on the bench right now?
Don McHenry right here.
He's calling for it. Heaves a 3, and he knocks it down.
A smooth lefty, it looks great. He's got deep range, obviously. Rob Wright III, to me, he's a step too far removed from the shooters.
Now Dybantsa, it looked like pretty good defense from Okonkwo, but what did he do?
Yeah, you can't stop him from getting to that Big 12 logo. That is his home office. It's where he does everything. The only thing he can really do is foul him there. That's it.
Dybantsa now with 10 points every game now this year in double figures. McHenry feeling it. Don McHenry suddenly blink your eyes. He's got 10 points.
He's not going to stop shooting. He had 21 points in the first matchup, but on 17 shots. Today he's been much more efficient. Taking advantage of the switching defensively. And the Utes have bounced back and silenced this crowd. Look at the deep range, Don McHenry. You better get a hand up early on him. And there's really nothing you can do. Tip your cap and say, yep, that's one of the best players in the game. But yeah, we got a good one here in Provo.
Utah leading for the first time. Utah with its first lead today, thanks in part to Don McHenry, averaging 18 a game, good for 9th in the conference, and he has come alive over the last few minutes.
Yeah, it looked like he was just kind of hanging out in the first 5 minutes of this game. Maybe just kind of getting the feel again. This is the first time that this young man has played here at the Marriott Center. Last year was at Western Kentucky and was doing a lot of this, but it's different in the Big 12. He's been efficient as well. That's the most important part. I mentioned in the first matchup, he was 6 for 17. Now, so he scored 21 points, but took a ton of shots to get there. And look at the start. And it's not how you start, it's where you're at right now, and if you can finish this. We'll see if the Utes can sustain this type of energy on the offensive end.
And Utah was on ice early, now made 8 of their last 10 and 5 in a row. Dybantsa back on the floor after a long absence. They lob! Wow!
Aaron, it makes sense. If Dybantsa is anywhere around the basket and his defender is not looking, watch, the defender loses sight. It's Okonkwo, turns his head, just throw it up, and trust that he will go get it. And that one reminded me of Dybantsa's brother, Namori, who's a world-class volleyball player in Italy. And folks, if you don't know, go to YouTube, not right now, after the game's over, and search Namori Keita, plays in Italy, and he is a beast.
That's really one of the world's greats.
Yeah, like truly, he's a world superstar volleyball player.
To the paint, right at the free throw line, and Dawes sees it go through. He's got 7 here in the first half. We talked to Alex Jensen, Utes head coach today, and he said Dawes has to be more assertive, more aggressive.
Has to be. And he also said, as Rob Wright draws another foul, this guy's living at the foul line right now, the point guard. But yeah, going back to Keanu Dawes, it's not in his nature to be, demonstrative, super aggressive. He's more of a quiet guy, but you can't be quiet on the floor for this Utah team. They need you, and especially in this game. He's got to be a monster, and so far, he's looked great.
Brown checks back in. Kendall Sanders as well for Utah. And credit to the Utes. They were able to not just hold it, but actually take the lead with Brown on the bench.
Weathered that early storm and weathered their own struggles. This is a Utah team here and really has struggled in true road games this season. They've lost 12 straight true road games. That goes back to last year as well. It's one of the longest streaks amongst major conference teams in the country.
Tide approaching the 7-minute mark here in the first half. McHenry driving, teardrop, and with the touch, McHenry with a dozen.
You're going to try, in that 2-3 zone, you got to know that he's a left-hand driver. Try and make him go where the help is.
Dybantsa just lowering the shoulder, some bully ball right to the rim, and good. Okonkwo has got between Dybantsa and Keita.
He's got guys coming at him like they're relentless, this offensive team. Yes, I feel bad for everybody who has to guard, like the big guys who have to defend against BYU. It's tough.
You can draw the ice bath already. You need it at halftime.
Ice bath and a cougar tail. Get you right back in.
6 on the shot clock. Never hit the rim, and controlled by Keita.
Nice defense there individually from Boop. Middle of the floor.
A huge mismatch here. And is that deflected or no whistle? And a heads-up play. Richie Saunders. Not sure what happened on that previous one.
Well, if there's a hustle play to be made, you better believe that the head-banded hero, Richie Saunders, is going to be in the middle of that one. Watch number 15, he's flying in. Talked about his 14 rebounds in the first matchup. It's almost like there's two of them out there. Oh, he's wide open. Wow. Saunders wide open on that back screen.
Under 10 to shoot. Dybantsa. Couple of fakes. Hangs. He'll shoot twice.
And I know I've mentioned it a couple of times, but you see how they get him in the middle of the floor. Utah defensively wanted to double team, but they realized how dangerous that is. And so they basically like stunted at him and then recovered. And that allowed AJ to have that one-on-one ISO. And finally, he feels that he's been frustrated that he hasn't been getting a lot of calls. Gets this one.
He matches his total from last game in Lubbock against the Red Raiders.
Got to meet AJ's parents, who are sitting to our left, Anise, Dybantsa, and Chelsea. And so AJ is Anise Jr., what it stands for. There they are right there. There's Anise and Chelsea. They're always here. Always decked out in the Cougar blue, too. Love that.
Their son has 14 of the first 30 for BYU.
And I would say that he's not even playing to his capability, right? Like he's playing well, but not like spectacular. I've seen him play a lot better than this, so look out.
Saunders on Brown in the corner. Brown fading from above the elbow, off the mark.
And Aaron, I know that was a lot of dribbling there, but like Terrence Brown can make those shots, and he's allowed to take those difficult ones. And I would argue that that was a bad shot if somebody else took it, but not for Terrence.
Double. Yep. Straight away. No good. And the tip in was seen as well by Keita. Under 5 minutes to play in the first half. 2-point BYU lead. A rematch of 2 weeks ago. Dawes driving foul.
Keita needs to stay on the ground there. I know that Keanu Dawes has hit a three, but that is not his game. And Keita, like, you have to know the scouting report. Just close out with the hand up. Instead, he takes himself out of the play and puts his teammates in peril, and that's why Dawes is at the foul line right now.
Well, this is a Utah team that won their first 5 games of the year. They're 4-10 since. They played BYU very tight at the Huntsman Center in Salt Lake City exactly 2 weeks ago. So this is a rematch from not long ago at all. And a Utah team that, even though their record right now at 9-10 is not overwhelming, 1-5 in conference play, they feel very strongly about how they played BYU 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they felt like they learned a little bit. They also played in front of a big time crowd for probably the first time, and it does take a little bit to get used to. And so they got that under their belt. They know they can play with BYU. Yeah, it's going to be harder here in Provo, but it's not impossible.
Right probing, and it falls through. He's got 11.
Well, I might change my tune on whether or not it's possible unless you can stop Rob Wright from getting 2 feet in the lane. He's only 6'1", but this guy dribbles through gaps like water goes through cracks.
Well, finally finds Brown, but back up top. Hanging floater. No, doesn't go through from Abbey. Gets into the paint.
They went under on that ball screen. I'm surprised.
A 360 spin short. Ahmed. And a clean strip. And now Wright is slow to get up. Numbers for Utah. Brown finds the open man Traore up and under. What a finish. His first bucket today.
Really smart finish there too, Aaron. If he goes up on the strong side, Ahmed blocks that, but he goes reverse.
All tied up at 32. Timeout called, 3:36 to play in the first half. What a competitive first half.
Yeah, good luck to anybody guarding Robert Wright III. Try and keep him in front. That's a big-time challenge for anybody. Big, small, it doesn't matter. He's only 6'1", but his game is huge. Utah has not blinked. Here's another bucket. They're not going away at all.
3:36 to play here in the first half. Rick Pitino, his 900th career win today against his son, of all people. Well, you know, during that commercial break, we have a young BYU fan who at mid-court, trying to get the crowd into it here, and
let's go.
And this Cougar fan walking away with $4,000. That'll be a good monthly tithe. Yeah, he's feeling it in front of a capacity crowd. Just over 18,000. Aaron Centerhold.
You could probably use them. They're just 2 for 7. 2 for 7 from 3.
Well, let's see. Does that change? Yes.
He was inspired. Richie was inspired. Look at him. He's the emotional leader of this team. Right? This team is talented, but you have to have guys who have been here before. And Richie sure has done that.
Sanders' first made field goal. Young man who averages 19 a game. Traore, this was not exactly an easy look. Brought down by Dean Boop. Senegal. Good rebounding presence off the bench. Hanging short.
No one picked up AJ in transition. He might be the one guy you want to figure out who's on him.
Dawes, it was thrown behind him. He's able to recover it, taking it right to the rim, and he finishes with the finger roll. He's having a fantastic first half.
Aaron, you have to, if you're a Utes fan watching this game, you have to love what you're seeing from your defensive anchor down below. And his ability to get in the lane and make shots. He looks like a different guy than the one that scored 0 points last game against Kansas State.
Dybantsa for 3. 17 in the opening half.
If he's making threes, I mean, I throw up my hands. Okay, I don't know what to do with you. That's the shot that Utah wants him to take.
Back up top to Dawes.
They're going to switch all ball screens here.
Brown recovers. Fades. Another rebound by Boop.
That's what Boop's in there for as well. A defensive player, rebounder, shot blocker.
Right for 3. Strong first half continues. This is 5th board to go along with 11 points.
He's one of the best rebounders in America. That's what we know he can do. I just wasn't sure if he was going to bring the offense with him from Salt Lake City.
And Don's one of 12 major conference players, averaging 11 points and 9 boards a game. We've seen that on display. McHenry deflected. Boop really productive off the bench here.
He's been flying around the floor. He was in the lane on that defensive possession when Don McHenry went to rise for that shot. He thought he was open. Boop said, oh, no way.
Approaching the 1 minute mark here. Right at midcourt. Boy, that's not the foul you want to pick up with a minute to play in the first half. That's the first, only the first, I should say, on McHenry.
Well, ever since that BYU student banks in a half quarter, this BYU team now all of a sudden can make threes. Richie Saunders drills one, and you can see how important this game is to him. And then AJ Dybantsa, I call him a 4-level scorer, right? Shoot from 3, mid-range to rim, and the 4th level is where Robert Wright III is right now, the foul line. The best scorers that I've ever seen played with or against Aaron, they all have understood how important it is to get to the foul line. Learn how to get fouled. Pump fakes, footwork, go into the body, don't avoid defenders.
Bags them both, right with 13 in the first half. Dybantsa 17. That's been the vast majority of the scoring for the Cougars. Under a minute to play. Sanders wide open, and Kendall Sanders, who had a career-high 3 triples 2 weeks ago against BYU, knocks down his first today.
I mean, he's 40% for the season. He's 21 for 51.
About a 9-second differential right now.
I wouldn't run any ball screen. I would just allow AJ to go one-on-one from the top of the key.
They switch. Dybantsa shoves, no whistle, and a finger roll in, and he is fired up. 19 points for AJ Dybantsa before halftime. Brown, what a pass. Clean contact at the rim. Wow. Hadim Boop. Major energy off the bench for BYU.
Oh, this crowd knows Boop's value. He's not going to get a lot of opportunities to shoot the ball. This is what he's in the game for. Look at that. Kind of straight up, but I'm all right with it. He takes the contact and then still has the dexterity to make a play on the ball. And AJ's just too big. If you switch a ball screen with Terrence Brown, who, by the way, Brown only is 175 pounds. You're going to have to double that all night, or yeah, he's going to be flexing on everybody.
42-37. Both teams were, I should say both teams, Utah in particular was ice cold for almost the first 8 minutes of this game.
They started 0 for 8 from the field.
Yeah, scoring has really picked up. BYU 4 made threes, Utah with 5 now. Kendall Sanders the latest.
All right, keep an eye on Terrence Brown. He's right at the foul line.
2 seconds to play in the first half. Prayer, and it's no good off of the hands of Josh Hayes. 42-37, really entertaining first half.
Yeah, this is everything I hope for. You mentioned the slow start offensively. Both these teams, once they get in rhythm, they are so hard to stop. The scores, the talent on the floor is awesome here at the Marriott Center. Don't go anywhere. This is going to come down to the last 5 or so minutes.
Lincoln Financial halftime report with Rob Stone coming up. And BYU in Provo. You shoot 43%, but that does not tell the story of what they did in the back half of the first half after an ice-cold start. Points in the paint. BYU doubling up Utah. Welcome once again to Provo. Aaron Goldsmith and Casey Jacobson in the dark here. One of the great home environments in college basketball. And for BYU, Casey, a first-half lead. And not a surprise, AJ Dybantsa leading the charge.
Yeah, it's a bounce-back opportunity for him after a season-low 13 points at Texas Tech. We knew he was going to come out aggressive. Doesn't shoot a lot of threes. This is just his 17th made three on the season. But this is where he's most comfortable. In the middle of the floor, one-on-one, where he can use that 6'9" frame. Go ahead and flex on him. But the engine of the team, I thought, for much of the first half, was Robert Wright III. 2 of the 4 triples were his, and then he loves to get 2 feet in the lane. Despite his small stature, he's really talented at finishing around the rim. And Aaron, talking about the scoring leaders right there, but this BYU team, talking about their big 3, Dybantsa, Robert Wright III, and Richie Saunders. Hero Saunders only has 4. Those 3 have combined to score 36 of the 42 points.
And neither team really good three-point shooting team so far this year, but both shot it well in the first half as McHenry is short on the runner. Here is Wright bringing it across. And Utah, after a slow start, really an inspired finish to that first half.
Oh, dangerous pass there.
Brown almost picked the pocket. Underneath, an easy put-in by Cade.
Just his second field goal attempt of this game. I mentioned in the first half that Cade's offensive involvement is important. He's not a big scorer, but he needs to get some touches down low so that he can screen a little harder and run a little faster.
Don's one of the real storylines for Utah in the first half. He was fantastic. 11 points, 5 boards. Here's a corner 3, and it splashes in for Traore. 34% on the year. That's his first today.
My most obvious statement of the afternoon, Aaron, this Utah team needs to make some threes in the first matchup. Just 6 for 22 from deep. They almost won, but I don't think they can pull off this win unless they hit about 9 or 10 is the number.
And they can get there. They're 6 for 12 now. Dybantsa. Oh, the 2-hand flash. Ada opens it up.
So much fun. He wears a shooting sleeve. That's very rare, Aaron. I'm always in on the fashion, like what shoes guys are wearing, headbands, and you don't see centers wear a shooting sleeve. Like, he never takes a jumper outside of 5 feet.
Dawes hits another three for the Utes. It's their 7th triple. They're 7 for 13.
And this crowd here right now, they're still in their seat. They're stunned a bit.
This falls in the hands of McKinley. Dawes in his last matchup 2 weeks ago against BYU, 7 points. He's doubled that here today, and this time McHenry gets it to roll over the rim and through.
McHenry, a left-handed player, but his favorite move off the bounce is the left to right crossover. We just saw it there.
Dybantsa, mid-range. Another rebound for Dawes. Utah a chance to take the lead back. Early moments of the second half. Short. Dybantsa, head of steam. Dybantsa, Euros his way. Count it.
Impossible to defend. I'm not sure this is enough contact for the foul. Watch here, folks. Number 8, Keanu Dawes. Is this a foul? I'm not sure what he's supposed to do here. He kind of gets out of the way. But again, AJ is a body-seeking driver. He's not looking to avoid contact. He wants to run it right through your chest.
It looks like that's what Dawes was saying. He was palms up after that whistle.
It's a tough one. I thought that was a tough call.
22 points for AJ Dybantsa.
Again, the 1-2-2 pressure. It's not super aggressive. They're just trying to bait you into a bad pass. Usually falls back into their 2-3 zone.
Terrence Brown, a fairly quiet first half by his standards, 7 points. Knocked down 1-3. One of the top scorers in the nation. In his hands, wing three. Brown hits it. He's going to have a big second half, and he's on his way now.
Really like that was a fade screen. They screened the middle of the zone, and that was all the space that Brown needed.
Dybantsa, clean strip, now a foul.
Now watch this flare screen in the middle of the paint that frees up Brown. And the skip pass, and then Rob Wright III, he's kind of guarding the top of the key, and he has to be in 2 places at once, and that leads to that open 3, 26-3 for Terrence Brown this year.
Second foul on Okonkwo. Dybantsa 7 for 8 from the stripe today.
Just another day at the office, one of the better scorers in the country. Cameron Boozer, freshman for Duke, is leading the country in scoring. He had 32 points for the Dukies today in another win. And those are probably going to be both top 3 picks in next year's NBA draft.
McHenry. The kick out to Dawes. He can't hold on to it, and it's turned over. Saunders. Earthquake! AJ Dybantsa having a monster performance against the Utes.
And he just takes what the defense gives. He's not out here forcing. He's running the floor. Doesn't assume that Richie is going to make this shot. Sometimes the best offense is a missed layup. Nobody on the backside. AJ, go ahead and clean it up.
53-48, BYU, number 13 team of the country with the lead. I tell you what, this is the day to be a fan of BYU. 3s for Keys. You got to make 5 to take home a car, and he did. He hit it. He knocked down 5.
I don't know what's going on in this game, man. The guys that are pulling in from the stands are just getting buckets out here.
Give that man a car. Drive it home, young fella. We had a half-court made shot to walk home with $4 grand in the first half, and now brand new car given away. It's going to be a coup.
And all the rest of the sponsors are shaking in their boots for the rest of the
What's the
stand.
insurance policy?
Aggressive double team there.
Dawes gave up the 3. Brown, baseline. Under 10 to shoot for Utah. McHenry with 4 on the shot clock. The runner, good. That's an impressive take.
He pulled out A.J. Dybantsa about 30 feet from the rim. And as athletic as he is, he's still running start. McHenry, that was a difficult floater because of the speed.
Right, drives, slashing up and under. His first point since halftime. He's at 15.
Double team. And Rob Wright knows that when Dybantsa throws it to him, he's aggressive with his touches there.
Brown 7th in the nation, averaging 22 a night. He's at 10 right now. Brown, step back 3, nailed it.
These Utes, Aaron, they're going at AJ defensively. He is switching off the last couple of possessions. They're not scared at all. I'm not saying they should be, but yeah, they're going right after the freshman.
9 for 13 from distance. The Utes right, nifty move.
That was awesome. He is as shifty of a player as you will find in college basketball. He's fast, but he's even faster with the ball in his hands. Reminds me a little bit of a player that I played with in the Phoenix Suns, Leandro Barbosa.
Timeout on the floor. BYU leading 57-53. We'd like to take a moment to recognize a beloved member of the Fox Sports family whom we lost. Oh, we can't wait for this one tomorrow on Fox with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line. Matthew Stafford and the Rams take on Sam Darnold and the top-seeded Seahawks. The NFC Championship presented by Intuit TurboTax tomorrow at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific on Fox. Yeah, season matchup split 1 game each. A couple of thrillers, in fact. A Thursday night meeting in Seattle, one of the great games all regular season. Okay, this
folks
just happened.
We're not lying.
It's a collective heat check by the student body here in Provo. This young man just won $1,000 towards his tuition. And Jimmer Mania taking over all over again.
Repping that jersey, Jimmer would be proud. I don't know what's going on, though, man. The student section's just coming in, just dropping 45-foot bombs.
We've got $4,000 cash given away, $1,000 towards tuition, and a free car. Everything's going down. 7 other shot clock. Sanders in the paint. Oh, nice little change of direction. Can't put it in. Offensive board, Traore. And it's blocked down by Boop. I'm sure how Traore got it over Cada, but he did.
Me too. Cada, third best shot blocker in the Big 12, and he put all of his energy in that one.
Dybantsa with 26.
Surprised he passed that one, to be honest, Aaron. When AJ gets 2 feet in that lane right near that Big 12 logo, without a double team, I assume he'll shoot it every time, and I assume he'll make about 80% of them.
Now, by the way, Dybantsa, who we said is at 26 points, if he reaches 30 today, he'll set an all-time BYU freshman record. It'll be his 3rd performance of 30 points. The freshman record, Danny Ainge, not a surprise, 36 back in 1977.
He's on pace to break Danny Ainge's freshman scoring record overall. Danny Ainge, 1978, 21 points a game. Big time. And Danny Ainge is here in the building, by the way. He'll love this. We haven't forgot you, Danny. Not at all. Right there.
So Dybantsa is on pace to break both the point per game record and then, of course, the total points scored record. One of the all-time greats. White day for Saunders, just 4 points. None since halftime. He hangs tough and puts it in.
I feel like Richie Saunders is a better second-half player. I feel like this BYU team has been a better second-half team all season. And they have the mental fortitude. Yeah, Richie really struggled, unlike himself, with no threes in the first half, but he's going to keep firing.
BYU, the second-best second-half scoring margin in the nation. Only Gonzaga better. McHenry, an impressive drive, but he can't finish at the rim. Cada was right there. Pass, Saunders, the triple. Ooh, a rare, bad miss by Saunders as Cada spills into the front row.
Rob Rob Wright passed him on the back. Hey, how about hit you in the next one? What I really liked from that sequence was Rob Wright III. Aaron, he waited for all the traffic to clear. He saw Richie Saunders open for several seconds, but he just had to wait. That's a point guard. You can't force it. You have to, like time and space to make sure that that pass can get through.
Utah scoring drought of just over 2 minutes. Abby weaving his way through in traffic. And the ball brought down by Keita. Right, changes directions, awkward angle, and a one-hand rebound, but they're going to call a foul. I think there's a reason why that was a one-handed rebound. That'll be the third on Sanders.
Yeah, well, Keita's left arm was being occupied. He had a fistful of jersey, but he's a wrecking ball in the lane. It's not only a screen and roll with Rob Wright. He dives to the basket and he pretty much occupies 2 guys.
5 team fouls for Utah. Just under 12 and a half to play. The lob. Sanders comes down 2 feet off the glass and in.
Nice little set play there to give Richie Saunders another bucket. Mismatch with Don McHenry, only 175 pounds.
Brown getting ready to check back in for the Utes. And they're going to need him for every minute left in this one.
Miscommunication there.
Dawes. Yep. Wow. What a day he is having. Keanu Dawes, that's his 3rd triple. 17 points for the junior.
And Aaron, normally I'd be like, it's okay. Dawes doesn't shoot a ton of threes, but on today's game, he is locked and loaded, and Richie Saunders was really upset. The miscommunication between him and Boop. He thought they were going to switch.
Saunders driving with the left hand. Well, he has suddenly come to life. That's 17 straight games at home for Richie Saunders in double figures.
The more I watch Richie, the more I think, does he play better when he's mad? Like when he's mad at himself or mad at the referees or mad at the opponents, he plays even harder.
He scored the last 6 for BYU. Abby pulls up, little teardrop, no. Points in the paint far favoring BYU. And if you're Dawes, you're saying I'm straight up, but that's the 3rd foul on Keanu Dawes. The message to Keanu Dawes from his head coach Alex Jensen today, be more aggressive, and I would say message received.
Absolutely. Came into this game shooting just 25% from 3. He's already knocked down 3 triples. Richie Saunders, though, is getting more confident as this game goes along.
BYU leading Utah. It's hard to believe that Keanu Dawes was held scoreless last time out, despite playing essentially 30 minutes, but he's been a monster in this one today.
Yeah, and look at his skill set. It almost seems to me that like his coaches believe in his offensive ability more than he does. Just a really unselfish player, but has found a rhythm and flow. 17 points on 5 of 7 shooting. He's the only Utah Ute that played in this building against BYU last season. The rest of the Utes, this is their first, time here in Provo playing against the Cougs. It is, man. Like, it almost blows my mind, Aaron. 0 points in 31 minutes. How is that possible that a player with his skill set could just be a goose egg out there?
Well, his career high is 21. He's at 17 today. Saunders has really come to life over the last 5 minutes or so. And if you go back to the start of last year for Richie Saunders, he is 23-2 in this building, shooting 54%. He's got a dozen now.
I love how Kevin Young described Richie Saunders. He loves his constant movement, and he says he plays so well in the flow. We run a couple of plays. We've seen a couple for Richie Saunders, but otherwise he'll get his shots just out of the normal flow of the offense.
It's Dominique Diomande who just checked in. He hasn't played much at all recently. Picked up a foul right away. Dawes swatted from behind. Keita. Dybantsa draws contact. They go to the line.
So when one shot fake doesn't work, he goes to the second one. But look, watch Richie Saunders. He does the heavy lifting on this one-on-one, slows down Dawes, and then that allows Dybantsa to clean it up, right? And the weak side shot block. Richie Saunders, just slow him down a little bit so your big man can come over and do what he does.
Dybantsa's been automatic at the line. Kendall Sanders, by the way, that was his 4th foul, so he's on his way out to the bench.
So I mentioned Dawes as the only youth that played in this game in this building last season. Dybantsa is the only player in the history of this rivalry to play for both teams. Started his career at Utah, of course. No coup.
Dybantsa at 28, helping a 12-3 BYU run. Really starting to separate now. Another BYU foul.
Unnecessary, too. About
That's on Saunders.
26 feet from the basket. Utah hadn't even really done anything.
Dawes driving. The kick out. Traore. It's been such a productive day from behind the arc. 10 of 17 for Utah, but they can't get that one to fall. Dybantsa. Wow. How did he do that? Dybantsa, 30 points, a BYU freshman record. His 3rd game hanging 30.
The fact that Terrence Brown deflected that ball is what allowed AJ Dybantsa to get that one. Whoa.
Dawes after the fake. Draws a foul in the paint.
As Aaron, watch this double team, and Terrence Brown, number 2, watch him deflect this basketball right there, which allowed AJ another extra step. It was almost like a bounce and an extra step, and then there's no one that can block this shot at the rim.
Dybantsa 6 points shy of Danny Ainge's freshman record. Brown misses, recovers, fouled. He'll go to the line. He needs to get hot now.
And he knows it. And one of the better ways for him to get it going is to get to the foul line. 7.2 free throws attempted per game. He shot close to 140 free throws on the season. But this basket with the rock behind, the roar of the Cougar, it's not easy.
He got it to fall. Sorry, I saw Michael Scott back there.
There's a lot going on. You know, Chris Bosh.
There was hours of, or I should say hours, 2 hours before tip, there was a lengthy student section rehearsal.
Yep.
What was about to happen. This is the largest student section in the Big 12, one of the largest in the country. It goes all the way to the back row.
Yeah, all the way to the top. That's what's most impressive about it. Yep, and they were rehearsing like free throws specifically. Another double team. That's got to be a drive. When AJ passes out of double teams, no matter who it is, drive the ball.
And now on his way to double, and Dybantsa the last to touch it. Utah ball.
Oh, we saw, like, in the first matchup in Salt Lake just 2 weeks ago, AJ was double teamed on almost every catch. And in this game, he's only seen about, I would say, 6 double teams. And it's starting to become, I think Utah wants to turn up the pressure a little bit, Aaron, and make sure that if they lose this game, it's not going to be because AJ has 40.
McHenry after the fake. Brown. He hits a 3. That's his 4th today.
Quick release, too. He knew he had Boot closing out, hard closeout.
The 11th triple made by the Utes. A team that does not shoot the 3 ball especially well this year until today.
The story to me is BYU points in the paint versus Utah's 3-point shooting. That's why this game is close.
Wright with 7 on the shot clock. Drives. Changes direction. Yes!
And more points in the paint. Doesn't matter how big you are. Break down the defense and play off 2 feet, which Robert Wright does very well. It's more balanced and it's more strong.
42-14 points in the paint. BYU, an overwhelming advantage. Traore, he finds the mid-range.
This is, to me, the big question. I said it in the open of our show, Aaron. Can this Utah defense, which has struggled all year, can they get stops?
Wow, stopping on a dime, right. We'll shoot 2. Under 8 to play. Number 13 team of the country, BYU, 71. Utah, 63. It is the Holy War. Royal versus Red. What a fun one today in Provo. Well, BYU, one of the more high-flying offenses in the country. We've seen some threes go down, Robert Wright, but it's been the students who have been highlighting things today, not just Richie Saunders.
Yeah, I think we should include all the Cougs in the building, right? Half quarters for $4,000 for a car. Dybantsa, he's also highly compensated. Some tuition. So BYU offensively is 4 for 12 from 3, Aaron. But the students I have tabulated are 6 for 8 from deep.
All right, sign them up. Our progressive game summary. Get slam dunk savings today. Well, you're just talking about this. It's points in the paint for BYU and threes made by Utah. That's been the story today.
They say styles make fights, and although we are surprised at how well the Utes shot the 3 ball today, it's been their go-to weapon. Work with it. But what is more reliable, right? What's more sustainable? 11 threes or just killing you in the lane?
Okay, Wright has 21 points now. Wright and Dybantsa have combined for 51 of the 73 for BYU.
I mean, Saunders also not a great shooting game. He's got 12 as well. So the big 3, again, just dominating and overwhelming defenses.
McHenry, good pass, and last touch by BYU.
And when you have a big 3 as talented as the Cougs do, the odds are really high that 2 of them are going to have good nights. The odds that all 3 of them are going to go off, that's in the Big 12, it's not going to happen as much. When it does, they will beat any team in America.
All 3 scored at least 20 last meeting 2 weeks ago against Utah. Brown, shot clock dwindling. Traore. Bad miss. Dybantsa with 30 points. BYU freshman record is 36. There's Danny Ainge back in 1977.
Post-ups here on the wing, automatic double.
A 3. And it's good. And BYU hasn't made a ton of them. Bošković. He has his first points today for Mihailo Bošković.
More than half of his shots are 3, so he's a big that wants to stretch out defenses. Only averages 3.5 points a game, though, so anything offensively is a bonus.
McHenry stops on a dime. No good. Dybantsa backing down. Fades. Off the mark.
That is his shot. If you've watched BYU play all year, he does that 4 times a game.
And Brown blocked from behind by Ahmed. Recovered Traore. Loose ball held on to by BYU. Bošković. And this capacity crowd of 18,000 plus up on its feet. Dybantsa. No, never hit iron. 4 on the shot clock. Loose ball. They got to put it up. Oh, and they do! It's a 2-hand stuff.
BYU 4 for 12 from 3 until this last possession. Bošković, a stretch big, wide open. That's a practice shot for him. And then credit Kendall Sanders for trying to make the save here. The hustle Hey, but sometimes it doesn't get rewarded. Trying to make the right play. And yeah, he just bounces the ball. He got 3 cougs. Who's going to take it? How about the All-American? He'll stuff it through. Yeah, this BYU team offensively, they just keep leaning on you. So you can defend this team for about 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes maybe, but eventually they're going to push you. And AJ is a much better player at home. That is mostly true for all freshmen, but even All-Americans. He feeds off this crowd. Look at almost 5 more points a game, almost 2 rebounds more, and 2 more assists a night. Remember, he's coming off a season-low 13 points where the Texas Tech Red Raiders really shrunk his space, made him turn it over. They were the best team that I've seen, Aaron, all year. Really make AJ frustrated all night. He only had 2 points in the second half. The Utes just don't have the bodies that Texas Tech does.
Well, if he was frustrated, then he was venting a little bit today and making up for it. Under 6 minutes to play. Brown jump stop, and he hits it. Brown is 20 now.
It's not a matter of scoring, it's just a matter of defensive stops. This Utes team ranks 212th in the country in defensive efficiency. That's not going to get it done.
Oh, what a day! What a day! A.J. Dybantsa! He has matched a career-high 35 points. Biggest lead today for BYU. Under 5 to play. Brown. Sanders. Oh, he hits it.
Tough shot. A lot of standing and watching for Utah offensively. They get bailed out by a really tough corner 3. Not a lot of movement.
And Dybantsa is a bucket away from an all-time BYU freshman record.
I wonder where this ball is going.
In his hands. Dybantsa for 3.
Yep.
A.J. Dybantsa has just passed the great Danny Ainge. 38-point performance for Dybantsa, the most ever by a BYU freshman. And it comes in the Holy War. McHenry. Straight the rafters, couldn't fall.
Yeah, this whole crowd wants to see number 3. Oh.
Not everybody got the memo.
The Boschevich just looked at AJ across the floor and smiled at him and said, hey, that's my bad.
Yeah. Chance for AJ. Dybantsa, can he get to 40? Dybantsa, stripped. Loose ball, Brown and Wright. Wright recovers. 40 is inevitable, isn't it?
It sure feels like it. Richard Saunders is at the scores table. I don't know if he's going to check in for AJ to give him a rest here. I don't know. Rob Wright's going to give it up. Who knows?
Dybantsa's got it. Heat check 3. Oh, have a day! Have a day! A.J. Dybantsa, a game for the ages. On one of BYU's biggest stages.
In the year of the freshman, there's so many good college freshmen. He is one of the best. 6'9", can do anything you want on the floor. A 4-level scorer. He's got it going from 3. What do you do as a defender? What can you do? The answer is nothing. Just sit back and enjoy the show.
All right, Rob, it's an absolute beehive here inside the Marriott Center in Provo. 87-68, number 13 BYU leading. 18,000 in full effect on an historic day for the freshman A.J. Dybantsa. 41 points and a chance to even add on.
Aaron, it's 41 on 23 shots. It's not like he's the only guy out here just gunning away. They're going to be telling stories about his 1 year in Provo for a long time. This one's going to be at the top of the list, a 40-piece in the Holy War. He also had a 33-point triple-double earlier this year against Eastern Washington. That was pretty good, too.
Saunders in transition. Number 3 to play.
I'll be shocked if anybody in a blue jersey shoots a ball besides number 3.
A double.
Even on a double team there, just launch it.
Right. Into the corner. Saunders drives, hangs. Timeout call by BYU. This is a 5-point game at halftime.
Aaron, we both mentioned how BYU offensively hits their stride in the second half. What was that stat that you read? They're second in the country in second half point margin.
That's right. They are plus 11. Only Gonzaga is better. They're plus 12.
They have a gear that few teams in the country have. I'm not saying BYU is the best offense in the country. They're not rated that way. Michigan's awesome. Gonzaga's awesome. Alabama, right? But they are one of the elite teams. If you take a look at their upcoming schedule. Oh, yes, folks, by the way, the #1 team in the country is rolling into town on Monday night. Arizona just absolutely demolished West Virginia at home today. One of the interesting things about this upcoming game, Aaron, if I can say, BYU as a program and as a university does not do any on-court activities on Sunday because of their faith. That means that the Arizona's coming into town. Right? Oh.
Dybantsa! It's AJ Mania! 43 points for the freshman. The most by any player in the Big 12 this year. Saunders with 5 on the shot clock. He's fouled on his way to the rim.
AJ, how is it this wide open? He could have dunked that with his elbow. Well, you have to close out his 3 now. You would normally not have to do that, but he's 4 of 5 from deep. So yes, you got to respect his 3 this afternoon, and that leads to just a 1.
Jemmer, the BYU single game scoring record, 52. Dybantsa at 43. Sanders gets the first. Three-pointers really stand out.
Yeah.
4 for 5 for Dybantsa. Sanders got them both.
I think every team that plays BYU, they come in, they have a plan to try and slow down AJ. You can't shut him down. You got to slow him down. And one of the things we say, hey, if he wants to shoot threes, go ahead and let him. Right?
Saunders, quick release. Everybody wanted him to pass to AJ.
Me too.
Ahmed. 2 to play. And what has turned out to be a blowout for BYU, a game that was close. Until about maybe the midway point in the second half.
Well, look, if we were told head coach Alex Jensen, Aaron, that you would hit 12 threes, he'd be like, hey, this game's going to go down to the wire. We have a chance to win. No, you got blown out. It's crazy.
Shot clock is stopped, by the way, and now they realize that. Shot clock stopped at 9.2 for some reason. And AJ Dybantsa checking out and getting a roaring standing ovation here in Provo. Feeling that decades from now, there will be about 100,000 people who said that they saw AJ Dybantsa score a freshman record 42 points in the Holy War.
I'm gonna tell some people about it. Number 1 pick. To me, it's either A.J. Dybantsa or Darren Peterson, the freshman at Kansas, who is not going to play today, but is just an absolute scoring machine at the shooting guard position. And I think BYU fans know, yeah, so the number 1 team, Arizona, is coming here. And then the next game for BYU is the next Saturday, January 31st. BYU at Kansas, Allen Fieldhouse. Do you think that every NBA team, all 30, are going to be represented in person at Allen Fieldhouse?
Oh, Wright not too shabby himself today. 21 points for the sophomore guard.
I thought Wright was brilliant. It was just overshadowed by one of the better performances individually that we've seen all season.
Dawes fouled on his way. You can count it. And Dawes with 19 points. He is now 2 points shy of a career high.
No, for Utah, there's no moral victories in this type of rivalry, but there's a couple guys that really, kind of stood up to a stout BYU defense, and at times there's been some, brilliant basketball played by the guys in red, and first on the list is Keanu Dawes.
That's a major positive takeaway for Utah, especially after his last game. Upstairs, and Okonkwo was having none of that. Now to Brown with 2 hands. 22 for Brown. Under a minute to play. BYU seconds away from winning their 13th straight at home. And
in this monstrous Big 12 conference, Aaron, it just keeps coming at you. Just when you start to feel yourself and gain confidence, you got to go to play at Allen Fieldhouse. You got to play the Houston Cougars, or you got to play against J.T. Toppin and Chris Anderson. It's just unforgiving.
Dawes, a new career high. Dawes with 23. That's his 4th 3-pointer. Under 20 seconds to go. What'd you see?
A forearm right to the chest. The referee was standing 2 feet away. It's one of those things that kind of just makes me laugh.
I'm not going to get away with that one. Well, these two teams played each other so close 2 weeks ago in Salt Lake City. Not as close today. BYU improves to 17-2 and the number 13 team of the country with a convincing win today against their arch rivals.
The Utah Utes shot 62% from 3 on the road today. And in the last 10 minutes, they had no chance because BYU has one of the best players in the sport. And I know basketball is a team game, Aaron, but when you have the best player and he decides to just say, this game is mine, there's no one that could have defended. I really believe this. No defensive team could have stopped AJ today. It was fun to be with you today.
Absolutely. Right back at you. Dybantsa, 43 points. A BYU freshman record, the most scored this year by any player in the Big 12. The Holy War goes to BYU, the season sweep. For Casey Jacobson and our entire Fox Sports crew, so glad you could be with us. We'll send you out to Rob Stone in LA right after these messages.